Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Aitken, and on this show each week we try to identify a particular characteristic in a race that we might look back on later as having been decisive. The first race we're going to look at on Saturday at Sha Tin is race 7. Now, this is quite an interesting class 4 down the straight. We've got several horses that have already raced and raced well, and they include Multi-Million, and of course Fabulous 8 from the Ricky Hughes stable, a runner-up on debut. And it also includes a debutante who is in the ownership of a well-known celebrity, Aaron Kwok, and that horse is Dancing Fighter, so he's going to attract a lot of attention. And he's the one we're going to look at first of all. Now, Dancing Fighter, he's had 2 barrier trials for trainer Casper Founds, and here's the second of those trials, and really he couldn't have done much more before you could take him to the races with a bit of confidence. He jumps out well, he's got good natural pace, and he goes on to win the trial in good style, decent times, and without Zach Purton having to really move a muscle on him. And that is about as much as you'd be able to see from an unraced horse at the trials, except for one thing, and that's experience, and only races can give a horse that. I thought we'd have a quick look at how the Class 4 debutantes like Dancing Fighter go on their debut appearances, and you can see here over the past 3 years they've won only 7% of the time. However, once you look at only the horses amongst that group who are well fancied in the betting, that is $11 or lower, the strike rate shoots up to 24%. So that's a pretty good indicator for Dancing Fighter's prospects. So that's our inexperienced horse of the 3 that we're focusing on. Now we're going to have a look at Multi-Million, who's had 3 starts, and Fabulous 8, who's had just the 1. And they met in race 256, also down the straight, when Multi-Million did a lot of work early, crossing from an inside gate to get to the outside rail, and Fabulous 8 sat back early, comes down the middle, and then edges across towards the outside, getting past Multi-Million late in the piece, but just failing to run down Glenealy Generals. Now, the natural inclination we have, the common wisdom if you like, is that a horse who's just had its debut is going to be so much the better for that experience. And that would put you squarely in the camp of Fabulous 8. But we're going to have a look at some figures now to see just what the reality of that situation is, and whether a good debutante run means a good run next time. And actually the news is all bad. As we see on the graphic here, Class 4 debutantes don't perform any better for the experience next time in terms of their strike rate, with even a slight downtick in the win rate. But if we look even closer, on average their performance goes backwards. Second up, the average finish position of a first up winner is 3.4, for a first up second 4.4, and the average finish position second time out for a horse which ran 3rd on his debut is 5th. So those figures are significant enough to slow our confidence with Fabulous 8. Dancing Fighter still needs the benefit of racing experience despite all the talent that he shows, and his trainer Casper Founds also hasn't had a debutante winner in Class 4 for 4 years since Grace Hart. So that leaves us with the tip, and in race 7 it's Multi-Million. He's raced 3 times. Every time he's done the same thing and been very tough to get past, and although he's drawn the inside, I think his experience stands him in good stead, and it's a smaller than usual field which will help him get across to the better ground. So Multi-Million the tip, his winning factor, experience. Now the second race we're going to have a look at on Saturday is race 9, and here the winning factor, the map. Now, this race is on the all-weather, and we're going to look down the field here and see that 2 of the most prominent runners, the 2 that will jump out the most punters' eyes, are trained by our top 2 dirt trainers, respectively John Size with Raging Blitzkrieg and Mi Choi with Go Public. Now, over the past 5 years, they have trained more winners on the dirt than their rivals, and there isn't a lot between them in terms of win tally, as you can see on this graphic. Size trails Mi Choi by 2 wins over that time, but Mi Choi has had almost half as many runners again to get to his 51 tally. so the strike rate for John Size is very much in his favour. Also in Size's favour, he's got a very informed horse. A Raging Blitzkrieg had been struggling to win in Hong Kong, but at his latest race, race 272, we see a very impressive performance from him on the surface. From a good draw, Joe Moreira camps him behind a fast pace, and really, Raging Blitzkrieg gives nothing else a chance in the run down the home straight. So we've got the strike rates working for Raging Blitzkrieg and John Size, and we've also got a very impressive win. But things go deeper than that between these two horses. They've got a little bit of history, and we're going to show you the last two times that they met. Firstly, in race 97, and on this occasion, Go Public runs out the winner, charging home from the rear of the field, while Raging Blitzkrieg, with every chance, finishes up in 4th placing. Now we go to race 144, where once again Raging Blitzkrieg has his chance and finishes 4th, this time on a track that was very much favouring horses on the speed on that night, and Go Public gives a big start, a disadvantage on the night, and still managed to get past Raging Blitzkrieg into 2nd placing. Now both times Go Public has given Raging Blitzkrieg a head start due to the barrier draws. He's still been able to get past him, and remarkably, because Raging Blitzkrieg has won since, Go Public will actually meet him on better terms at the weights. So he's got quite a few things going in his favour. But we made the winning factor here the map, and I think that's going to be crucial. This is the first time that Go Public has had a good draw, an inside 6 draw, since March earlier this year. So we've gotten used to him charging down the outside from the rear. But in the past, when he's had good draws, he's actually been able to take up a better position than he has in those recent starts. So although Raging Blitzkrieg is still likely to be in front of him in the run, I can see Go Public very much within striking range of him, turning for home and not giving away the 4 and 5 lengths that he has done and still beaten Raging Blitzkrieg recently. So the tip in race 9, Go Public. His winning factor, the draw. I think that he's maybe got the wood on Raging Blitzkrieg anyway, but that improved draw should make sure of it. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Good luck on Saturday. See you next time.